A warm greetings from Rohini College of Engineering and Technology video lecture series. We are discussing about environmental and social impact assessment video lecture series. Now we discuss about the topic mitigation of impacts on environment. The mitigation measures and the monitoring plan recommended for the off-site activities are to serve as a general environmental and social management framework. All harvesting activities require a separate site-specific environmental management plan. The mitigation measures for the on-site operations are separated from off-site operations. Both their mitigation measures are discussed in this video. First of all, we discuss about the on-site mitigation measures. In order to minimize the impact of air, the following mitigation measures are followed. One is watering of surfaces. Second one is road surface grading. Maintain a good housekeeping practices. Set speed limits of 10 km per hour on site and off site, and cover trucks when necessary in order to reduce the flying of the minute particles in the environment. Similarly, the proper maintaining of vehicles and ensure the vehicles which are turned off when not in use, the proper availability of firefighting systems, prohibit littering on site, prohibit any kind of smoke or fire on site. Ensure that flammable chemicals are properly stored. Similarly, in order to minimize the impacts on water, the following measures are recommended. Prevent the oil spills and ensure proper containment. Divert oil or mixtures to stand or silt made channels. Ensure the septic tank is emptied whenever full. Ensure that washing water from vehicles is drained in a sand, and ensure the proper storage of oil and lubricants. Then soil cover. In order to ensure the mitigation measures for the preservation of water resources is properly done, and in order to maintain the biodiversity, the mitigation measures also followed. The ensure proper management of solid and liquid wastages, promote plantation of trees around the site, prohibit any kind of action which leads to the destruction of ecological system, and also preventing hunting activities. Similarly, the following mitigation measures are recommended during the management or handling of solid wastages. Ensure the proper sorting and labeling of different kinds of waste materials according to their nature, like decomposable, non-decomposable, flammable, highly inflammable, like that. Similarly, fence the site border to prevent any flying material to deposit in nature. Prohibit any open fires. Provide proper containment of stored liquids and avoid any kinds of leakages. Drain and instruct workers on proper segregation and management of different waste materials. Then the gaseous emissions from transportation. In order to this is the off-site mitigation measures. The carbon emission, the gaseous emissions coming from transportation. So for that we have to take some preventive measures. One is ensure the proper maintenance of engines and any machine used off-site. Set low speed limits for trucks. Do not exceed a tool's life expectancy. Similarly, the dust emissions from cutting, sawing, and chipping of wood. For that, we have to use the require workers to use personal protective equipment during the operations. Introduce the use of dust collector directly after operations takes place. In order to in order to prevent the global warming, we have to plant more number of trees as well as plantation of windbreakers at the borders of the cleared areas. Replant rubber trees at the ratio of 1:1. Similarly, water quality. So sediment loading into downstream water bodies uh, is a negative impact. So for that, we have to build natural embankment at water bodies and avoid littering or discharge of any debris into the nearby water bodies. Similarly, in order to reduce the negative impact of water quality degradation by potential use of pesticides, we have to raise the farmer awareness on the application of biological fertilizers. Use chemical fertilizers in low doses and during dry periods. Similarly, reducing the negative impact of water quality deterioration from chemical spills, we have to store the used oil in a labeled containers, provide preventive spill kits and absorbing material offsite. Then soil. The degradation of soil cover properties have to reduced to take the minimizing steps like even spreading of mulch and organic material, planting of fast growing vegetation and crops, excavate shallow water channels that collect from rainwater, construct water and sediment basins that control runoff, maintenance of landscape connectivity to decrease habitat fragmentation, like using tree corridors and by leaving patches of ground cover will allow the species to move through the landscape to meet their habitat needs. Harvest planning will ensure that harvest does not coincide with nesting or breeding seasons of local wildlife. And the degradation of biological environment impact also minimized with the help of introduction of windbreakers at the borders of the cleared areas, introducing vegetation plantation among the cleared areas, preserve of riparian zones as the ecological corridors, and preservation of wetlands. Similarly, the another one impact is disturbance to land use. For that, we have to avoid the extensive use of pesticides near the agricultural land areas, avoid disturbance to any natural resources, public as well as the cultural site. And socio-economic, integrate local residents in different phases of project, provide proper awareness on proper practices and working instructions, and prohibit the employment of children, and promote trees planting and vegetation of cleared site. So these are the mitigation measures we have to take in order to reduce the impacts of environment components. Thank you for listening. Thank you all.